What up, peeps and peepettes? MorbTron back today with more Destiny 2, and today we're going to talk about a subject that I've been thinking out for a little while. And before I get into anything, I just want to say that, want to mention, make note, put this note in your brain place, that this video is not any sort of hate towards Bungie or Destiny 2. There's enough of that on the internet. I don't need to add to that dumpster fire that is the internet. But I'm going to go over a couple things that I do miss from D1 that aren't really covered by the mindless horde that is the internet. You know, a lot of people say, oh, we want more content, or we want to feel more powerful, we want the time to kill to be decreased, blah, 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 blah. That's not what this video is about. I think that all of those topics are kind of a dead horse at this point, and talking about them at all, other than making an honorable mention of them, would be a waste of time. The things I want to talk about are more along the lines of just overall feel of the game, how you feel about loot in general. Now, people have been saying for a while they want more meaningful loot. And one thing that Destiny 1 did really, really well is they actually force you to either spend some time with a weapon to unlock all of its perks, or, you know, you had to, later on in the game, you could spend motes of light. I think in year 2 or year 3 they added that. I'm not real sure when they added that feature. But basically, instead of, you know, leveling up right now, you get an illuminated engram, you get some free Tesseverus stuff. In D1, you'd get a mote of light every time you leveled up past level cap. And then you can spend those motes of light, or consume them for various things throughout the game. One of the things you can do with them is to level up weapons and armor, because when you got them, they weren't very useful, let's say. The perks on them were locked. You could see what the perks were, of course. You could see the piece of armor or the weapon that you have, you could see its potential with its random roll, but they weren't unlocked. So what you had to do was either spend some time leveling them up, like using them. Now for armor it would take a lot longer, or you could spend motes of light leveling them up. And then you'd have to then spend resources like weapon components, armor parts, regional materials. So we have regional materials now, but they're just used as a rep turn-in to get like a free loot token, basically. Back in the day of D1, you would collect, you'd have to farm for these components or these materials to spend them unlocking perks and things on weapons and armor, which honestly I kind of miss. Now it does kind of add some farming or you know, some time that you have to spend not shooting at stuff, but I think it adds value to the game. It adds value to your weapons, it adds value to your armor. And I'm going to cut to my Warlock now in D1 and show you what I mean. Alright, so as you can see here, I'm on my Warlock, and damn does it look sexy. I mean, look at that armor. Look at that armor. But this is what I'm talking about right here. So on my armor, you see I need to spend time putting basically experience into my armor and weapons before you can actually use the weapons and armor effectively. So all the perks are locked, all the stats and perks are locked in the armor. Now you could spend time and pumping experience into them by killing things or doing missions and stuff, or you can spend motes of light like this. I don't have a whole lot because I don't have many on my Warlock. I think the rest of them are either on my Hunter or my Titan. But you can see here, spending 12, got my weapon about halfway. And then, even when you unlock the ability to unlock the perks, you have to spend resources to get them there. So you see here glimmer, and then helium filaments and weapon parts. And it's something you had to farm for. And then on the armor, you can see you need to put a lot more time into the armor. But you get ornaments as well on armor, like you do in D2 currently. But the ornaments and things in D1 made things look amazing. I mean, look at that. This is the raid chest piece, raid gloves, raid boots, and just a random helmet. But oh God, the gear looks amazing in D1.
Anything to add?
So you can see there, you know, I had the pulse rifle in the primary slot in D1, and I had my chest piece from one of the I believe that was from Fall of Crota, or Crota's End rather, the year 3 version, when they went back and kind of redid everything. When the gear and armor and weapons looked amazing. Like the raids in year 3, like the end of year 3, the Age of Triumph, were just amazing. And I miss it. As far as like the way that the armor looked and the stats on everything, and just feeling powerful, looking amazing. The ornaments that you put on the armor is just unreal. The amount of time that was put into making you look cool is just... Oh, okay, I just took a tank shell to my face parts. Thank you, fellow hunter friend. But what you saw there is I obviously didn't have a whole bunch of motes of light on my warlock. I'm not sure which one of my characters they were on. Probably, well, my Titan or my Hunter. Probably my Hunter. As my Hunter was kind of my main, sort of, in D1. Let's just nope out of there, and then let's do one of those. Let's, yep.
No, the tank. Now comes the elevator.
Let's do one of those. What you saw there, I spent some motes of light. I spent, I believe, 15, and I did not even unlock one thing on my piece of armor, and I unlocked 1.5 things on my weapon. So it takes a lot of motes of light, and honestly, like returning to a mode of light system like that, I think would be bad. Reverting to that, I think that the illuminated engram that we get for Eververse stuff, you know, isn't terrible to get free Eververse loot. There wasn't a thing for that in D1, but they didn't have as much Eververse stuff either. Fail. So there is that.
Oh, come on. Another one.
Get that sweet power ammo. But I think having to spend, you know, 15-20 minutes, maybe even like a half hour or something of playtime, you know, 1 or 2 heroic strikes, or maybe even 3, or, you know, 4 or 5 rounds of Crucible to unlock everything, all the perks on a weapon, I don't think it would be all that bad of a thing. I think people would value weapon and armor drops a lot more if they had to level them up and actually try them out and see actually what the perks did as you went along. That was one of the things in Year 1 Destiny 1. You could not spend motes of light like you could in Year 3. So you really had to actually invest the time in a weapon. And back in Year 1, you couldn't even reach the weapon's full damage potential until you leveled it up. You actually had to invest resources in leveling up the weapon's light level or damage output number back in D1 Year 1. So there was a lot of time investment into a new weapon, and having, you know, a fully upgraded weapon, like a fully upgraded Year 1 Galahorn or fully upgraded Year 1 Icebreaker, going into a raid was a big deal. Even having a Galahorn in Year 1 is a big deal. I never got a Year 1 Galahorn. I had a Year 1 Icebreaker, which, you know, used to take down Atheon, and, yeah, Atheon and Crota, and, you know, I never got a Year 1 Galahorn. And right now, I mean, I've had all the exotics, maybe at most 2 months after Curse of Osiris released, and people are still kind of complaining that, you know, getting duplicate exotics and blah-de-blah, which, I mean, getting the same exotic over and over and over and over again makes it feel less exotic, but you didn't get showered with exotics back in D1. It was kind of a, you know, we grinded for our loot uphill both ways back then, and I missed that. You know, the exotic weapons from the raids, like the Year 3 Outbreak Prime, and the Year 2 Touch of Malice, you actually had to go on, you know, these quest lines that gave you lore and story, and you had to like invest quite a bit of time, especially with Outbreak Prime. You had to do it with a fire team of 1 hunter, 1 titan, and 1 warlock. So getting your friends together and going through this quest line to get this exotic weapon, it was amazing. And now we're just kind of like handed everything. We're spoon-fed exotics. You know, loot is thrown at us left and right because I think Bungie is trying to, you know, give us the whole, you know, we want to be showered with loot thing, which is great, but at the same time, it doesn't mean anything to be showered with loot if all the weapons are the same, meaning no random rolls, and 2, if you don't actually have to invest any time in a weapon to have its full potential unlocked. The closest thing we had to it was with the weapon, one of the, you know, the weapon types I'm using right now, the Curse of Osiris crafted weapons, where you had to spend time farming the materials to craft the item, which I thought was a really cool touch, and it almost brought back the feeling from D1 of what we had to do to get our... Oh, I'm dead. Oh, I'm not. For some reason, I'm not dead. To get some of our exotic and legendary weapons. But still, the time invested in those, you know, even forcefully spaced out, you know, with a number of weapons you could get per week, it still was really, really fast. And again, if that's the route the Bungie wants to take, that's fine, but I think that a lot of the issues that they're having is just because people run out of stuff to do. People say they want more content. I think if they made us invest time into what we get, you know, investing time in just getting exotics in the first place. Come on, team, I'm trying to do a live commentary here. You should be able to carry me through this. What is going on? Carry the ball over to the thing. But having to invest time into stuff that we have to unlock its potential, to see what it can do, to not be just handed exotics hand over foot, I think would be good for the game. You know, the exotic quest lines that we have right now don't feel exotic. They feel like, you know, you spend a half hour at most doing them. And even the quest for, like, the Rat King, which you could say is the most in-depth out of all of them, really isn't that in-depth. Unfortunately. So, yeah, I mean, that's basically my biggest wish for Destiny 2. Like, you know, I don't know if this is even on the table. I don't know what is going to be said during the Creator Summit that Bungie has planned, upcoming very shortly. I hope that something like that is brought up, where just okay, I got squished. Where just time investment in general is greatly reduced because we're just handed everything. But yeah, and on top of that, having more, you know, raids and more harder things to do wouldn't be that bad either. I think more strikes need to be added, and they will over time. I mean, we're comparing Destiny 2's first year to Destiny 1's third year. Which, of course, there is going to be a difference in the amount of content there, just because of the of Destiny 1 being at the end of its lifespan and having, you know, end game content 3 years worth versus, you know, a game's initial release and its first little DLC pack. But there we go. I mean, the shower of loot at the end is a nice touch. But having things to farm for, and then once you get them, to have to invest time in them for them to be fully unlocked, to realize their full potential, I think would be a very good thing for the longevity of the game. Some people might disagree with me, saying that that would be just a chore. But it didn't. It didn't feel like a chore back in D1. Nobody really ever complained about having to invest time in something in order for it to be good. In fact, people would farm constantly for just a specific role on a weapon. And if you did that, you more than likely had the Motes of Light to fully upgrade it right out of the gate. But what do I know? I'm just, you know, it's just my opinion. It's my idea, and I thought that I would share it with you all. If you are Destiny 1 veterans such as myself, and you have a different opinion, or you agree with me, or you have your own ideas, let me know. Let me know what they are. Put them in the comment section down below. I'll read them. I'll even put a link to my Discord down in the description as well. Feel free to join. If you're on PC and you're looking for somebody to group up with, or you're looking for a new clan, definitely throw something up on my Discord and get you with some people. But that is going to be it for this episode, so if you liked it, please leave a like. If you're new to the channel, you want to see more of my daily content, please hit that subscribe button. If you have anything to say, that's what the comment section is for. Do not forget to have a good day, everybody, and I'll catch you all next time.